What's up, guys? Mike here from nursing.com's YouTube channel, and today what you guys want is 20 tips for studying for and passing the NCLEX. Now, that's a lot. 20 is a lot, so let's get right to it. So, number one, if you've ever seen the NCLEX before, if you've heard about the NCLEX before, the format has changed and you need to understand it. There are your basic multiple choice questions, no problem, but there's all these new NextGen questions. A lot of it's based on case studies. A lot of it comes from EMRs, electronic medical records. You guys need to look into this. And actually, we have a few other videos, and there's tons of information on nursing.com about the NextGen format. So I encourage you to check that out. Number two, a really important one. Nurses are always talking about self-care, and one of those things is managing your stress level. Look, I don't care what you guys do. Some people knit. Some people go to the gym, like me. I wouldn't suggest drinking as a form of stress relief, but hey, I don't judge. Whatever it is, find something that's going to help you de-stress, and that's going to help you get through that exam a little better. Number three, this goes without saying, read the questions carefully. You guys are going to see all that. Select all that apply. Which one is not the answer? Which one do you do first? Read the question. Take a minute. Make sure you understand what you're reading, which also goes into our next part. Number four, answer questions quickly. Now, I'm not saying just do the A, B, B, A, B. No, don't do that. But don't spend 5 minutes on a question. If you read the question and read the answers, take a few seconds, figure out your answer. If you don't know it, if you have no idea what the answer could possibly be, move on. Mark it, like check it and annotate it so that you can come back to it, because maybe 20 or 30 questions down the line, there might be another question that kind of jogs your memory on that one, all right? But, you have to do a minimum of 85 questions. You got to get through it. Sometimes you're going to have more. Some people, occasionally there's less. But I think I knew one guy who was a genius back in nursing school who did it in less because he got every question right. I wasn't friends with him. I was stupid. That's the guy you want to meet. Anyway, number five, you got to develop a study plan. Now, how you study is up to you, but I would recommend having an idea, having a plan of how you're going to study. Set up days each week. Are you going to read? Are you going to do question banks? Come up with something, and on your calendars, block that time out. If you don't come up with a study plan, you're going to hit test day and be shot, and you're not going to have prepared properly for it. All right? Number six, one of the ways you can develop that nursing plan is by going to nursing.com. We have tons of stuff. Hit up nursing.com, look, search NCLEX, all kinds of stuff is going to come up, including, number seven, the NPQ, the Nursing Practice Questions. This is a bank of like 6,000 questions on nursing.com that you can customize and make your own tests. It also gives you reports afterwards, shows you where you need a little help. Go to that. Within that, and one thing I always do, I did a lot of questions when I took my exams, and what was important to me was the rationales. And in fact, you want to read the rationale of what's right as well as what's not right. Because sometimes not just knowing the right answer is good, but knowing why the other answers are not right, knowing why those other answers are wrong, especially when you look at one and you think that all four answers are right. You got to read all those rationales. You got to know why you get something wrong so that you don't get it wrong again. Number nine. I like this one. So you want to assume the best situation for every question. And what I mean by that is NCLEX doesn't know about your hospital. NCLEX doesn't know that you're short-staffed. NCLEX doesn't know that, you're missing some resources. In the NCLEX world, everything is ideal. You are fully staffed. You have CNAs. You have resources you want for nothing. It's like working at the Mayo Clinic, I guess. I don't know. But understand that. Do not go off of what your experience is. Understand that these questions are asked in an ideal situation. Experience is one thing, but don't use what you've done as the basis for your answers, if that makes sense. Number 10, take the test early. I don't mean like early in the morning, although I do recommend that. I always took my test first thing. But when I mean take your test early is after you graduate, schedule. Don't graduate, wait 9 months, and then say, I'll take my NCLEX now. You're going to forget everything, guys. You graduate nursing school, you take those final exams, that information is fresh in your head. Take the NCLEX as fast as you can. I took mine like a month after I graduated, or whatever the fastest thing was. I took it. I was not wasting time. You should do the same. That information is going to stay in your head. It's fresh. You can study for that period of time, whatever it is, a month or two, depending on the state you're in, before they actually grant you the ability to take the test. You've got a little bit of time. That's all study time. You don't want to study for 9 months. You don't need to study for 9 months. You know it. Schedule your test. When you're taking the test, I want you to look for helpful keywords. One of my favorite keywords, airway. I mean, come on. How many times have we gone through this? Airway, airway, airway. It's usually the answer. Also, steer clear of absolutes. Nothing in medicine is absolute. So things like always, only, never, all, those tend to not be the answer. There's never an always. Oh, if a patient falls down, you always intubate them. No! So steer away from those. Look for those keywords that are going to point you in a direction. We're up to number 12. Wait to evaluate yourself. And I mean, don't evaluate every question after you take it. Do it at the end. You're going to waste too much time. You're going to run out of time, and you're not going to finish the test. So wait to evaluate yourself. Number 13, with select all that apply questions. Select all that apply. Use true, false. When they say select all that apply, if you have 5 things, look at the list and say, okay, well, the first one, A, well, that's a true statement. B, well, that's a false statement. Do it like that, and it's either true, false for the 5 or 6 things that you can select. The trues are yes. The false is you don't select. Move on. Number 14, make educated guesses. Sometimes we don't know the answer, guys. Look, I've been doing this 15 years. Sometimes I don't know the answer. Make a guess. Make an educated guess. I take exams for critical care, ICU stuff, and I don't do ICU. I do ER. Yes, they are different. Another day to talk about that. But you guys know a lot of information. Sometimes if you don't know the answer, you can kind of weed out what's not the answer. You know what I mean? Make that educated guess. Number 15, look for cues. There are definitely things that are going to steer you towards the right answer. You know, if they're asking about something that promotes communication, they always want to promote communication. Answers that acknowledge a patient's feelings, right? That's a big one. Answers that paraphrase or repeat words that are told to you. Basically, if the patient says something and then you repeat it back, it's like, well, what would you say? Well, how would you show empathy? It's something like that. How would you reword these questions? And then any answer that makes a patient feel welcomed and heard, go with that. Always remember, guys, patients first. Everything we do is always patient focused, patient first. Client focus, number 16. Use client-focused answers. This similar goes to what I was just talking about. It's always beneficial to answer questions that focus on the client. Basically, anything that's going to connect you to the patient. Now, of course, if you've done some questions like this, you know that 3 or 4 of the questions connect to the patient. Well, then you got to figure out which one is connecting the best, which one is the right answer. There's a difference between connecting to a patient because we both got tattoos and connecting to a patient because you share an experience you've been through breast cancer or whatever it may be. But as you go through those questions, you'll see those answers. 17, stay healthy. Simple. I talked about this in another video. A diet of Red Bull and Twinkies ain't going to keep you healthy. All right? Stay healthy. Because when test day comes, you don't want to be sick. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super thrilled. The mask mandates have gone away in my hospitals. Anybody who's vaccinated, this and that. And that being said, I still wear my mask when I go into certain patients' rooms. Nothing's changed from pre-COVID. But stay healthy, guys. Keep yourselves healthy. 18, always choose research-based answers, right? The experience-based answers are going to differ from person to person. But when the research is behind it, when the evidence is behind your answer, you're going to be right. Don't go with experience. Don't go with, well, I saw this in the hospital. No, go with the facts. That's going to be your right answer, all right? Number 19, use process of elimination. I do this all the time. You get 4 answers. Usually one of them you throw right out. The second one you kind of question a little bit, but you can eliminate it. And then you get down to 2, and sometimes now at that point you got to make your educated guess. But you can always eliminate 1 or 2 usually, especially if you take banks and banks of questions. If you use nursing.com's NPQ, you're going to see all those questions and you're going to know which ones aren't right. And number 20, and the last one. I love study groups, guys. Get together with your friends, ask questions. It just changes up. It kind of switches your mindset. Something we did, we always did Jeopardy kind of things, man. We'd ask questions, we'd give prizes, we just had fun. If you're having fun with studying, you're going to retain it more. The more entertained you are, the more you retain things. Trust me, I know this. I teach. I have to be entertaining. I'm singing and dancing in front of the classes. Get a group of people together. Go over questions. Go over topics. And the other thing is, if you're not getting a topic and you're not getting something, somebody else in that group may know and may have a tip on how you're going to get it or how you can study it or some mnemonic that you haven't thought of. Get together. Form that study group. All right, guys. I think that was 20. My math is not great, but I think that was 20. And I wish you guys all luck. Don't stress too much. I said it before. Don't stress. You guys know this stuff. Practice your questions. Review the stuff you miss. And go kill the NCLEX. You guys got this. Hey, guys. So I hope this video helps you in your nursing journey. Now go out, be your best self today. And as always, happy nursing.